Now I've got what I want to be seeing. So Dan Kane, I am one of our outbound product managers, and today we are here to go over the within platform analytics. We're going to be going over the Yokohama release. Just a reminder that within our academies, this is for you. So please, yeah, any feedback you have, any suggestions for topics, anything of that sort, please do and have asked questions and all that. So please do contribute. It's always more fun when people do contribute. The session is being recorded and will be posted publicly within a couple of days after this concludes. So if you have any issues with recording being done, then you want to keep that in mind. And important to remember that this is you please use the Q&A panel. If you do have a question to ask, or if you do have if you want a clarification on any statements and things of that sort, please use the panel, not the chat. When you use the Q&A panel, everything gets recorded into the webinar. And that also means that things that we didn't have time to get to, or if we need to follow up on, we've got that directly in the recording notes, in the session notes. The chat should really just be for sharing information with each other, and if you have more of like general logistics questions, I'm not hearing anything like the folks who talked about sound earlier. So we appreciate that. And let's see, get started with it. Just a reminder, this is the Yokohama release. It's coming out in another week or two, something like that. But we do need our safe harbor that things we're presenting here could be very likely will contain forward-looking statements that may or may not happen in the time frame that we specify. So just do not make any purchasing decisions based upon what you see here. Just don't hold us to what you see. Although most of what you see here right now should be there, considering we're only like a week out. So for today, our primary presenters are going to be Serena and Mike. I know Marta is here as well as as a presenter, and also to help with any of the Q&A that you might have on this topic. So they are a couple of our inbound product managers. So what we're going to do is, so now I'm going to hand it off to, I believe, Mike. You are the first. You are the first one to do presentation. So I will hand it off to you. If you want to share your screen, you are welcome to do that here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. I'm Mike Schlamann. I'm the PM specifically for data visualizations and filters, and I'm very happy to present to you today, well, the new features of Yokohama for data visualizations and filters, and later, of course, Serena will take over her part. For the agenda, pretty straightforward. We'll have I'm doing the quick intro. I will go over the features we have very quickly and then jumping right into the demo. And at the end, we have some Q&A
Hey,
as
Mike, just
well.
before you get into real quick, I know I did have one request in the chat about turning up the gain on your microphone or just turning up the output volume.
Is that
So
better?
that sounds better to me. So if
Okay,
anyone else
perfect.
can say in that, yep, much better. Yes, that is the general opinion is this is much better. Thank you.
All right, okay. Um, okay, then I will start. So let's start first with the visualizations. We have made some significant enhancements to our time series visualizations here, where we addressed several core UI gaps, and which are also now migrated. Oh, there's a typo. It's now. They are also migrated to PAE. Some key features are a business calendar support. We added sorting capabilities if a group by is defined, but also some other pointers such as displaying, basically choosing or giving you the option to decide how you want to display zeros or gaps between data points, or also if you maybe desire to have at each data point a marker, as you can see on the right side here, or also to set the period and date to always update to the current date. This is for our time series visualizations. And like I said, I will dive deeper into those in the demo. Now, the other pointers which are not specific to our time series visualizations are the display of a percentage of the total. So we show this in the tooltip and also the data tables. This excludes the box plot visualization and all of our scores. So single score, dial, and gauge. Thirdly, we have increased the maximum number of data sources for the pivot table. So instead of 10, you can add now 15. And then lastly, the option for hiding elements with values of 0 is now only available when the aggregation is not set to count. Then this was for visualization or visualizations. And now the filters. I think that's a pretty exciting change here. We have done, or we have introduced now a new element, which is group filters. So instead of adding each filter separately to your dashboard, you can now group them into one element altogether. And you can, choose how you want to apply those filters within this element. So do you want to apply them all at once, or as you know it separately? Then you can also, or the support for business calendars is extended to this to the filters, and it's also not exclusive to group filters. You can also choose the layout or spacing of the filters within the group filters, and you can add as many filters as you want in the group. This was the presentation or the slides. Let's jump into the demo. I think everyone, you should see this. Yes. Okay. Let me first
Yep,
demonstrate you
looks good.
business calendars. So as I said, it's available for time series, and business calendars you can, for example, use are Gregorian, fiscal, or any other manually added calendar. You can see on the left side here, I've added fiscal. Actually, this, well, sometimes the configuration, when you prepare the demo, you're missing something, but then I can show how you configure this live. So basically, in the trend by section, as you all know it, you have the aggregation period, and we have now, instead of just the standard calendar, have several subgroups. And well, as you can see here, this is my custom business calendar I've added. But now let's choose fiscal year, click apply, and then you will see fiscal year is being shown. And as I said, this is available, or you can add any manual edit calendar. I added, for example, work week, just as an example here. And I think you have seen it in the dropdown. It will just appear as a subgroup in this list at the bottom here. Let's move on to the next point, which is sorting options for time series. So in Core UI, you were able to sort your group bys from A to Z or Z to A. We have kind of done the same and a bit more, where when a group by is added to the visualization, the time series visualization, you can now sort by name, value, element order, or report ranges / bucket order. This all depends on the type of group by field you're adding. And pretty important to highlight for when you're sorting by value is that sorting by value is always based on the latest data point. So that means all previous values are sorted by the order of the latest data point. What does it mean exactly? So you can see here, we have pretty straightforward. We are sorting value descending, but the previous data points for January, December, and November they are following the order how February has been sorted, as you can see here. And this is pretty important to point out for value sorting. Then I will show you here a couple of other examples. There's sort by name ascending, also pretty simple. For example, we have now a report range where you can sort by the report range and element order as well. Now, you might wonder how this looks like in the configuration, which actually is exactly the same how it is also for vertical bar, for example. You can see the sorting, a group by is added, the sorting is available, and I can see the options. And like I said, the options that appear here are depending on the type of group by field. And now someone might wonder, okay, what happens when I have maybe two data sources or two metrics? Then what we are doing is, and specifically when we have different type of group by fields, what we are doing is we are having a union. All sorting options of the selected group bys appear in the dropdown. So what does this mean? In this case, I added two metrics and I selected category and updated. This is a string field and this is a date time field. So now you can see name, value, report range, and element order are present. But, and now I selected report range here and the column is sorted by report range, but category cannot be sorted by report range because it's exclusive to a date and date/time field. So it just defaults to name sorting. If there are any questions about this specifically, I will try to answer those later as well. Okay, then let's move on. We offer you now the option to choose how you want to display your line, area, chart, for example, so your time series charts. We have essentially two options here. Show zero when no data available. So you can choose, how do I want to display if there is no data in the selected data set? Do I want to show basically zero or nothing? And with that, we have show continuous lines. So you can choose whether to display the zero as it is or to close this gap. And how it looks like is by default, we're showing you the current view, how you know it basically. Incident is zero, so we will add a point here, and that's your chart. But you might want to just connect 2016 with 2018. You can do this now. You can just toggle, and I will go into the config panel. You can toggle on now, those are checkboxes. Tick those under display settings. You can turn this off and tick show continuous lines, and it will connect the points. And the third option is if you want to just show a gap here, you can do this as well by just turning off both settings. Then moving on to a closer related configuration, which is show marker. So in this case, for example, when you are showing the zero, it's pretty useful to have an option, and you know this also from Core UI, to highlight this point with a marker. So you can directly see those points. And specifically here, we are having more icons here, and when you're toggling those legend items on and off, they will also be removed. This is only available for line, spline, area, and the step chart, not for column and scatter. Then let's move on to the alternative group by for multiple metrics. So when you have more than one metric, you might run into the case where you want to provide your consumers of the dashboard with the option to switch the alternative group bys per metric. So what does this mean, and how does it look like in the configuration? When you are having 3 metrics, for example, and the limit currently is 3 metrics, so if you add a fourth, the add alternative group by will be disabled. But if you have up to 3 metrics, you can click on add alternative group by, and you will see the metrics as they appear here. They can just click on any of the metrics you want to add a alternative group by for. Let's say incidents. I want to add priority. I apply, exit. And then for users, let's say I want to see the active users, incident, category, and here, priority. And then you can, of course, how you know it, toggle it, select it again as well. And this, like I said, also works obviously when you have less than 3, so with 2. But if you exceed 3, then this will not be there. Just it's also a matter of how chaotic the chart will become at that point. Then we have the current date as period end. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Basically, when you're in the date range section, the setting, and you want to, for example, I run into the case. I wanted to see, hey, how many defects do we have since January 1st? So this setting allows me basically to just go into date range, set an absolute period, select, did I say 2024? I don't know. Well, 2025. Select this as a start date and just toggle this on. So it will update with time. I don't have to go in every day into the dashboard, change maybe the period end date manually. And what I also couldn't do before is specify this very granularly. So as I said, it will always update to the next date. Although today is the 5th, March 4th is shown here because the indicator job didn't run yet. And again, this is also available for pies, basically all data sources and visualizations that support date range. Then let's move on to hide elements with values of 0. We had this feature already, but it's one small change. Now it's only available when the aggregation is not set to count. For example, here we have average updates for assignment group. Currently, the zeros here for the category empty are shown. And if you toggle this setting on, this group will disappear. And you can find the setting in the group by model. Now it appears, and now it's hidden. This is available for pi, donut, semi-donut, and Pareto charts, and also when the table data source is used. You might have seen it now when hovering over the first charts. We have added, as I said earlier, the percent of total to the tooltips and data tables. for all visualizations. Again, here the restriction to scores and box plot. Currently, this cannot be turned off, but we are enhancing this and planning to enhance this. And for indicators with a unit percent to prevent that basically two percentages are shown in the tooltip, we have turned this off, or basically the percent of total will not be shown. How this looks again here, you can see that the percentage totals to 100 of 125 and 124. If you have a group by, the percent of total is basically the column itself. So 2025 equals up to 100, 2024 as well. For vertical bar, same story. And here you can also see the percentage in the data table. The last feature for visualizations, pretty easy to show, pretty self-explanatory. Data source limit. You can see here now 15 data sources where you can compare a lot of metrics, which I think some of you will very appreciate. Then lastly, filters. Again, a super exciting thing here where we added now the group filters, which in my opinion will make your dashboard look even better and structured. So as I said earlier, the possibility to add multiple filters in one click, and also here business calendars are supported for filtering. How does this look like in action? You can go into the category, select via multi-select some categories. It is not yet applied. Then let's do, for example, last 12 fiscal months. Confirm, still not applied, but now I can just click apply, will be applied, and maybe, okay, I don't want this, clear. And I can also customize this pretty extensively. Group by layout, I can choose to view vertically. The filter spacing, I can decide, I can define. Here we have the form how to add more filters. It's all your familiar interface kind of, where you can just add the filter as you're used to doing it. And then down here, you have a couple of options where you can say, hey, actually, I like that the filters are applied as I select them, basically. So you can just remove this, also remove the clear button, the reset button, but you can also choose to just combine the clear and reset button into kind of a action menu. And then it will offer you those options as well. So this was my demo of the new features. I hope I was good in the time.
Yeah,
It's fine.
fantastic. I have a couple of questions. So
Yeah,
before you wrap up there, before we transition, and you can certainly let us know if it's something that we're going to be covering in with Serena here. So I tried to pick out a couple that I think would be relevant to the largest group of people. By the way, Mike, I don't know if you're seeing the reactions. We are getting lots of hand claps, heart signs, even some party horns and that. So yeah, lots of great. So seems to be lots of love for this so far.
that's
One
always great to
question.
hear.
Yeah. Will group filters only show options that are available based on previous filters? And I think that's what you're just showing here right now. So, if I if a group of filters contains managers and users, will the user drop down only show users under the specified manager? And you should,
Basically referring to cascading filters.
yeah. And
Uh,
that's not necessarily part of the group filters per se, but
yeah, so currently there's no way to add cascading filters to in-group filters.
but
That's something we have to work on. and enhance.
But if they are just added as individual filters, not as part of a group, you can set that that the values of one filter can be dependent on the values of another.
Yes,
But
that will be possible.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's true.
but
Yes.
yeah, but not in group filters. So just wanted to clarify that. Question is, can you deselect all values on an x-axis?
In the, what case does it refer to here?
It's talking about
Any specific?
this Pam here. I'm gonna let you speak here, Pam. See if I can actually get to my screen here. So if you can clarify here, Pam. There we go. You are allowed to speak.
Yes. So that's exactly what I was talking about, these five that you have here. A lot of times we have a lot more than five, and we only want to display one of them during our conversation. So you have to uncheck every single one in order to just show the one you want. And I just think it would be a nice feature to have a deselect all so that you could click just the ones you want to see.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Because it looks like you can't do that today.
No, you have to select each individual legend item on its own. That's correct. Um, do you usually are you not using the max number of group functionality to limit the number of groups you're showing?
Sometimes we need to show quite a long
All
list.
of.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But no, definitely, I think that's something we can note down. And yeah,
Mhm.
like I said, currently you have to select them each individually.
Mhm. That's a good use case, though. Thank you. All right. Let's see. There was another one then here on um, can you show us how you rename labels? For example, a bar chart with two data sets. They're having a hard time renaming.
Bar chart. A bar chart. When I hear bar chart, I always think about vertical bar. So I will go to
Yeah.
vertical bar here. So basically,
And it can be tricky
let's add.
sometimes, whether it's in the metric or the data definition. So it's a
Let's do this here. So basically, now I've renamed the metric to be, test, and I can go into the second one and do metric 2, click apply, and then it is being renamed. I hope this was what was requested.
That's Dwayne here. I'm gonna real quick. I know I want to move on here, but I'll try to find you, Dwayne. It's alphabetical, so it should be easy, right? Okay, Dwayne, you are now. You can take yourself off mute if you would like to, and if that's what you're looking for.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. And great presentation, by the way. So I see you're using Yokohama. We are still utilizing um, Xanadu. And in Xanadu, every time we did exactly the same steps you did, but it didn't allow us to save it. It did not save it. When you click out of it, it goes back to the default naming.
That might
That
be connected to a defect,
yeah,
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
That's a known defect and it'll be fixed in Yokohama.
Looks like, yeah.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's connected with the UI builder team, and I believe they are releasing a patch also for Xanadu.
Perfect. Thank you. Good to know.
That should work soon again.
Okay. All right. I think we are ready to move along. So, but thank you for that.
Cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks everyone, and have a good day, evening, wherever you are.
So I think we'll pass it over to Serena here now.
Yes,
And
thank you. I hope you can hear me well.
yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to share my screen. So thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone. I'm Serena, also product manager for Platform Analytics. Mainly worked on dashboards and some of the features that I will show, specifically analytics categories, but I will also showcase some other work that was done for Yokohama release. Hope you can see my PowerPoint. So the first feature that I would like to introduce is analytics categories. We now built the capability to create categories from Platform Analytics and assign multiple categories to Platform Analytics dashboards. So in Yokohama, you will be able, as a technical user with a specific role that we reintroduced, analytics categories admin, you would be able to create new categories and also assign one or more categories to a dashboard. Assigning is allowed for technical users with these analytics categories admin role, but also for dashboard owners. So dashboard owners can assign existing categories to the dashboard they own and remove categories assigned to the dashboard they own. We also introduced the ability to filter by categories in the dashboard library. So you can see it here. I will also give a demo of that, but in the dashboard library, you will be able to see the available categories, the number of dashboards under that category, and to filter accordingly. So it's really easier now for a user to find the dashboards that they need or even discovered new dashboards based on content or however your organization prefers to categorize dashboards. We also introduced visual tags in dashboard cards to showcase quickly the categories assigned to a specific dashboard, and the same tag will be available from Dashboard Header as well. So this, I think, really helps in, first of all, streamlining dashboard management. So you can really organize, as an analytics manager, a dashboard intuitively aligning with your organizational needs. And as a user trying to find a dashboard, you also have the ability to find it by filtering by categories. So this is the first feature that I will present also later in the demo. Another very nice capability that we introduced is target suggestions. We already introduced, obviously, proactive insights, but also suggestions before. But as part of Yokohama, we introduced suggestions for setting or updating targets for KPIs. So basically, there's a system running in the background in your dashboard, and it will surface the top indicators within that dashboard. By top indicators, it would be indicators that are most widely used or that show significant trends. And if needed, we will show you suggestions on how to set or update these targets. These suggestions are mainly for targets that are not defined, not fully defined. For example, some targets may miss a review date or targets that are too old. And you will see in the demo later, but this happens, all of this happens within the dashboard. The system is already auto-populating for you the target values or review dates based on recent performance. And obviously, you're still in control of updating the values, deciding whether to uptake the suggestions or reject the suggestions. Lastly, what I will show is also KPI details improvements. We have a few improvements, and I believe some of these were highly asked. So first of all, business calendars are fully supported now for KPI details. And we also have more actions for greater insight and flexibility. So from the KPI details page, you can now export the records in different formats. You can also customize the values. You can also customize the columns you want to see in the KPI details. So you can add more columns, remove more columns based on your needs and whatever you want to see in the records in KPI details. and get the underlying indicator configurations or collected scores of the indicator from within KPI details. So these are the three main features that I will show, and I will jump into the demo quickly. Let me share again my screen. I hope you can see the instance. So the first thing that I would like to show is indeed analytics categories, how to create them, and also how to navigate in the dashboard library with filtering by categories. First of all, how to create them. As I specified before, if you are an analytics categories admin, which is a new role that we introduced in Yokohama, and it's given to dashboard admin users, you can create, edit, and remove categories. And to do that, all you need to do is navigate to analytics categories in the all menu. You will see it here under usage and governance. And by navigating to this form, you will be able to see the existing categories, obviously edit, delete, and to create a new category from here. What we also introduced is, again, the ability to filter by categories in the dashboard library. You see from here the number of dashboards that are assigned to this category. And by clicking, you can just show in the library the dashboards under this category. You can obviously also combine the different categories. So in this case, you would see dashboards having both Academy and Demo category. You can already see it from here, but we now, in Platform Analytics Yokohama, we allow to assign more than one category to a dashboard. You can see the tag here, so you can easily recognize the category that is assigned to the dashboard. And also by clicking here, you would be able to see the additional categories assigned to it. And obviously, to easily navigate, you can clear the filter by selecting or clear all filters with the clear button. This filtering capability is obviously also linked to the filters on top. So these filters, we had them, I would say, for a long time, and now they work also together with the categories filter. So if you click by recent, you would see the recent dashboards and also the categories for dashboards that are part of the recent, so dashboards that you recently viewed. I will open the dashboard for my demo of the other features. And what I will also like to show is that we also have this visual tag on top of the dashboard header. So also when you open a dashboard, you would be able to see to which category it is assigned. And you have a visual tag here, but you can also review it from the dashboard details panel. So in the dashboard details panel, you will see the categories assigned to the dashboard. And if you go into editing mode, you can also assign more categories from here. And if you have the right permissions, even navigate to the form to create a new category. This is all for categories. The second feature that I would like to show is the insights and target suggestions specifically. As I said before, we now introduce target suggestions. So there's a system running in the background in your dashboard recognizing the top KPIs based on performance and significant trends, and recognizing whether some targets need an update or they need to be set up as well. So to surface this suggestion, you just need to navigate to the Insight panel, and you will see two tabs here. And in the Suggestion tab, you will see the target suggestion for your dashboard. So in this case, we have suggestions for 2 KPIs. And to open these suggestions, you simply need to click on the KPI of interest. In this case, I want to see what the suggestion is about for number of open incidents. So I can simply click on it, and a model will open to review the suggestion. So in this case, you can see that this suggestion is about updating the target. So in this case, there is no review date set for this target. So the system is already auto-populating with a target value and a target review date suggested for you. You obviously always have the power to change this suggestion and review it and decide to not uptake it or uptake it as well. So in this case, we are reviewing this. We see the target date, start date, the review date. We think it works. So we can just click on update and the system will uptake the suggestion. And you will also have this visual clue that the system has updated the target for this indicator. As I said before, the targets suggestions are for different use cases. So when the target is not set, is not fully defined, or is too old, in this second use case, for this second KPI number, percentage of incidents resolved by first assignment group, we see that actually this is a different type of suggestion. This target has a review date in the past. So the system is again auto-populating a new value for the target and setting a review date. So again, we can review it and decide to uptake it. And both my suggestions for targets have been uptaken. Lastly, what I would like to show is KPI details improvements. As I said before, we introduced a few improvements as part of Yokohama release, and I will show some of them. So from the KPI details page, now you can edit the columns that you see for the records. So from this button here, you can click on edit columns and you will have the ability to edit the columns that you can view for your records in the KPI details page. So you will be able to see the selected columns already and the available columns and choose from those. So for example, we want to see the activity due and add it to the columns which are visible. So in this case, you will see that activity due has been added to the list of records. And obviously you can also change the order, so it's fully flexible. For example, we want to move short description on top, updated, and you will see that short description is now the second column showing for the KPI details page in the records section. The last thing I would like to show is the exporting capability. So now from the KPI details page, you can export the list of records by clicking on the export button. You can choose the file type. So we have different file types you can choose from and the delivery type. And when you choose your preferred file type and delivery type, you can click on export and the list of records will be exported. This is mainly it for what I wanted to show. I hope it was clear. I hope you liked it. And I think it's time for questions now.
All right, we've actually been able to handle a lot of the questions as they've been coming. And again, I will say to you, Serena, getting all kinds of the thumbs up, hand claps, hearts. So, very, very positive feedback. Let's see if I'm looking for anyone. There's not anything that I had flagged for it yet because some of these are a little more specific to a use case that we're trying to answer. Okay, here's what I'm going to try to. Using it in. Oh, yeah, it's that Gopal's. Okay, I think I'm still going to follow up with you, Gopal. I'm just going to kind of stay here because I want to make sure we get to the specific questions for this topic. But in general, I'm still not sure about how a breakdown source can use an indicator breakdown as its data source, because normally it is a table. So we might have to take that one offline. I will send you my I'll send you my email, Gopal, so we can follow up on that more directly. Let's see, anything else that would be good for the group? There's a question mark. Can we in any way create a standard view for all users? Kavya. I'm gonna let you speak there because I'm not quite sure. You talking about like a list view, or I'm gonna turn. Come on, where are you in the list? There you are. Okay. Okay, Kavya, I just turned it on so you can clarify what you.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I think I was talking about the list view. I was asking, can we create choosing certain set of columns? I think it can be customized individually, right here. If you choose certain columns and those columns will appear here. So I think I also got an yes for if that is going to be saved for that particular user. Today, if I'm like taking out color here, for example, and I'm coming back to this KPI details again and viewing it, so I don't see the color, right? That is, I'm personalizing it for myself. But my question is, yeah, can we make that view standard for everybody? Do we have an option? I still like the individual customizations that is allowed, but can we make that standard for the KPI, default view for that KPI?
I think I will need to check with the team on this. If there is any broader configuration in which you can force the view on the KPI details.
Okay.
Yeah, but I understand the question.
And by any chance, okay, cool, good to know. I was clear. And also, do we have an option to include the dot walk fields here yet? It has never been the feature, but I'm just asking out of curiosity. That is
You-
definitely good to have sometimes.
Dot walk fields, yes, they should be available because there is that this arrow over here that
Oh,
show.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
going
awesome.
the next level.
So this is going to be available from Yokohama? Sorry, I joined late
Yeah,
and
from
I might be
Yokohama.
asking few stupid questions. Okay, all right. Beautiful. Thank you.
Great, good answer. I always like those answers. So let's see. You had a
Also,
quick one.
sorry,
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
maybe you're thinking you're unmuted the wrong person. Sorry about that.
No,
So
no, that's
usually, I guess in the list view here, usually by default, what appears is what is default to you in a table list. If you have customized that table list, I think pretty much the same view is would appear here. You know what I mean by that is, okay, I go and click on just the incident list, right? For example, incident.list, and that will come with certain default view, and it might have 5 columns. And I'm going to add an additional 6th column to that table view. So every KPI dependent on the incident table, when I click on the KPI, it gets me to my personalized default view. Is that going to work same way here, or the default view will be a universal default view when you navigate from the KPI detail? Did I make myself clear? I can explain again if needed.
If you have a default view on the incident list, for example, then you're gonna see, you should be able to see that same view also on the KPI.
Same way here.
Also, yeah, that should be the case.
Cool. Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
All right. Great. Thank you, Kavya. They had one question I think is probably going to be relevant to a lot of people. Just a quick question on more than two breakdowns. Then we'll call them multi-level. Hello, the question is in Yokohama, will we be able to have more than two breakdowns for the indicator in performance analytics? That capability is just because of the nature of the technology. It is tied in very, very tightly with the new RaptorDB backend database. So you would need to you would need to have your entire instance upgraded to the RaptorDB Pro to be able to use that. But Yokohama it will be the first release where you can use that, but it will also require the RaptorDB Pro system backend. So. Um, let's see. I wasn't quite sure about Holly's questions. Will it be before we have to convert to the PA dashboards? Holly, I'm not quite sure if that was a follow-up to another question. Here, there you are. Okay. There you go. You are.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I had asked any update on the content blocks. It did get answered. There's no concrete timeline, but currently exploring how to bring it into dashboards. And so this was a follow-up of will it be before I have to convert to the PA dashboards?
Yeah, I don't know who answered that.
Um,
Who answered that in the
Skylar?
chat? We have too many. We have too many good questions.
In general, it might have been me or Mike. We are looking on how to kind of give in the platform analytics inline dashboard the same flexibility that we add with the custom content block. But we don't want necessarily to bring like older legacy technology into the inline dashboards or mixing and matching the technology system that we use. So we are looking at if there are possibilities for us to include maybe better components that are built through the UI builder into the inline dashboard. But we don't have any short-term timeline on that happening. We are reviewing the technical feasibility of it. What also will happen is that even when you upgrade to Australia and these capabilities do not exist, we are still going to allow a subset of users to still be able to create core UI dashboards and reports. So in case you really have a strong need of some custom content, you can use it, you can use them using the core UI experiences. But for now, we don't plan to place the custom content block into the inline dashboards.
And by your comment, is Australia when we are forced?
Yeah, so for everyone, we had done 2 weeks ago a session on the migration, but I will do a quick recap. In Australia, there isn't gonna be a automatic migration. We are not actually on Upgrade to Australia migrating the content that you have in the instance, but we will block the creation of core UI reports and core UI dashboards for all the business users, meaning that from Australia onwards, your creation experience for the business users will be on the new platform analytics. So all the creation, creating new data visualization and creating new dashboards will go through the platform analytics capabilities, but you are still going to be able to access core UI dashboards and reports, as well as you are going to be able to edit core UI dashboards and reports that you have. And then we will promote from Australia like a partial migration of the various items, the various dashboards and reports and so on, that we will flag that are ready to be migrated.
Thank you.
Let's see. question on trying to think here, see the ones that are a little more general. Oh, okay, that was yours. That was Holly just now. Kavya had another question on categories are meant. Oh, by categories you meant categories at CMDB ITSM level. What was the use cases thought behind that capability? I'm not quite sure what that's asking.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of the question, but
So, in the classic, we used to have, we used to filter the list of dashboards by categories like CMDB. So all CMDB dashboards show up, ITSM, all ITSM instant change management, those things show up, right? So, so is that the sort of use case? Is that more of that feature that is here, and maybe that with little more flexibility of adding additional categories, right? I just wanted to know what was like the use cases that came on the table so that you thought of this feature. That's all.
yeah, thank you for the question. So for now in Yokohama, the users will be able to create categories. We don't have out of the box categories linked to a specific dashboard yet. And the use case it's mainly for organizations, so you can organize your dashboards based on your organizational needs, for example content, but I'm sure there are a lot of use cases for organizing dashboards, so it's for streamlining dashboard management. And also to increase easy findability for whoever is navigating within dashboards. So we don't have out of the box categories yet. I'm not sure if I cannot have a timeline yet for when they will come. But also and Marta, correct me if I'm wrong, but we also allow in Yokohama to migrate your core UI dashboard groups to become these analytics categories.
Yeah, you're correct.
All right, I
Okay,
know.
and only admins will have access to create those categories, right?
Yes, so it's
Okay.
we introduce a new role that is given to dashboard admin users. So those users can create, edit, and remove categories.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move along because I want to wrap up. There's a few more questions left there yet, but as remember, we'll do our best to try to get answers to them out on the community page that's associated with this recording. So, but with that in mind, I do want to wrap up. It's gonna give me the wrong view. Come on, give me the right view. There we go. I share. Uh, let's see here. So we have just a reminder that we have resources available. Thank you, everyone. Great turnout, great questions. But we have our resources available to you. Starts with the Getting Started community page. That's a fantastic resource for you. Let me unpause this. It keeps on jumping back to my wrong. Let me fix my sharing. I apparently am very bad at this whole sharing thing. Okay. When it's a presentation, I'll just do this, go to that, and go to presenter mode. There we go. So there's also the Platform Analytics community page. So any upcoming communities, this is also where you will see the recordings when they are done. So just a reminder about that, and including the presentation will be available to you on the Academy community page. Just a reminder about a lot of our other resources. ServiceNow Learning learns the learning site has a lot of self-paced information available to you. So that's and a lot of what we're adding, a lot of the new features and that you're going to be able to find some tools for educating not just yourself, but maybe some of your users as well in the Now Learning. And I want to also make a shout out for our enablement toolkit. This is, to help you get ready, and we are updating the toolkit on a regular basis. So if you have comments or thoughts or questions that are not answered in the toolkit that would be, you think, useful for everybody, please, you should be able to add comments into that or questions, and we will definitely follow up on that. Then finally, I know we're up the top of the hour here. The next session coming up in 2 weeks will be a continuation of the What's New in Yokohama series, but it will be really specifically focusing on exporting from performance analytics, from platform analytics. Sorry to say that. So I want to wrap up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time, and really appreciate your attendance. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.